Good morning.
Morning, Dr. George.
Samantha, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really sorry again about last week. I must have just slept through my alarm or something. I swear I didn't hear it go off or anything. And by the time I woke up, I just had to get to work. And so, yeah, I apologize for missing our appointment.
That's okay. It happens. We all oversleep, that type of thing. So if you want to talk about that and what was going on where you found yourself missing the appointment?
Well, I think part of it might have just been um, like the last few weeks and stuff, just because of everything that had been happening with Lauren and everything, were so stressful and stuff. And I hadn't been sleeping well then. And so, it was probably just the first really good night of sleep that I've had in a while. And my body was like, you're done. You need rest. And so, just not waking up.
That's okay. That's okay. So tell me about your week.
So not last week, but the week before when I missed my session and everything. I think probably the worst thing that happened that week was I had a test and I didn't do as well on it as I wanted to. And I think part of that was just kind of everything that was going on with Lauren, and I just wasn't spending as much time studying and stuff. And so I got probably more upset about that than I should have, and I kind of cried about it a little bit. And but then Lauren just told me, she's like, one poor test isn't gonna ruin your whole grade and everything. And so she was like, it's okay, you're gonna be fine with that. And then I don't know, Zeus was he's just nice because he distracts me a little bit. And so after Lauren told me that, and after school, I went home and I took him out and just went to the park with him instead of sitting at home thinking about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did cry a little bit about it, but it wasn't the worst thing. I think I maybe dealt with it better than maybe I have in the past.
Okay.
Because normally I'd probably go home and really think about it and go, oh, you could have done better. You should have done better on that. You should have studied harder, and just really, kind of just been really, really hard on myself. But
so what made you change not being so hard on yourself? Well, what was different this time than compared to last time?
Well, part of it was just kind of Lauren talking to me, and she was just sort of she's like, it's been a long few weeks and stuff, and every now and then, she's like, we're not all perfect, so sometimes we're gonna have a test that we don't pass. And I mean, I passed it, but just not with the grade I wanted to get and everything. And so she was just saying all of that, and then when I got home, I was I wanted to kind of just sit at home and stuff and everything, but Zeus kept bringing me his leash, and he just wanted to go on a walk. And so then when I took him out, I just sort of instead of thinking about it, had fun with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a reason to get out of the house instead of sitting at home and thinking about it.
Good job on talking to Lauren and having her encourage you and taking a walk. So tell me about the walk. What was the walk like with Zeus?
Well, so we went down to, there's this kind of dog park really close to where I live, and it's got a little river. And so when I go there, I'm able to let him off leash.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can just run around, and sometimes he plays with some of the other dogs that are there, and he likes to get in the river. And there was not the last time I brought him, but one of the times I brought him, he came back out with one of the fish from the river.
Oh my.
And he just brought it to me. He hadn't killed it or anything, and I was like, this poor fish, and he thought he was such a good dog for doing it, but I was like, you can't be like dragging fish out of the river, Zeus. But he just like he loves to run when he gets out there, and just like um he's just like really really fast, and he just like is like a ball of energy. He just runs like all over the place and stuff.
Wow, that's a great dog. You know, that term, take him off the leash and just be free. Can you relate to that for yourself in any way of you being set free from your leash and running free? I mean, if that was you, I mean, how would that be for you?
I mean, like, I don't know, it's really nice to watch him do it, but when he does, like, he doesn't like care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sort of like, like when he goes out, like he's just goes up to all of the other dogs in the park and stuff, and is just super friendly with them and everything. And like, I mean, as a dog, he probably doesn't get nervous or scared or anything, but like, I probably wouldn't walk up to just people and try to talk to them and stuff.
So is that what freedom would look like, though? Being able to do that in your mind?
Yeah, maybe. Well, because like, in some ways, like that reminds me a little bit of Kai, because he's really good about like if he goes to parties and stuff, he just and he just constantly makes new friends, and he just kind of walks up into new groups and talks to lots of people and stuff, and he's like always sort of the life of the party whenever we're out, and he's just sort of like everyone wants to be his friend and stuff.
Yeah. He's a great young man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you really admire that. I wonder what part of that could be part of your personality. I mean, or is there parts of that you wish that you were able to be like, or do you feel that that could never be part of what?
I mean, like, sometimes I wish I was better at like talking to people like he is.
Okay.
And like he's also, I've kind of told you before, but like he's really good at like saying no to people and stuff without like hurting their feelings or making them feel like bad and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just like, I don't know, he just sort of knows what to say to people.
Well, that word "no," that's a very powerful word. You know, when I think about the word "no," it's a way of kind of protecting yourself from others. But from what I'm gathering, that's a really tough word to do. And we've had a couple of sessions like this. So I knew when it comes to the word "no," I knew where you were then. So have things changed when it comes to the word "no" for you? Are things still the same? Is it worse? Or where are you with the word "no"?
I haven't really gotten a lot better at that. Like in my head, like sometimes in my head, like I'll be talking to people and stuff, and they might ask me if like I want to help them with something or whatever, and like when I don't want to do it, I sort of like know what I would say, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of scary to say it out loud, because sometimes it doesn't sound like the nicest way to say something. And so like normally, it's little things that people ask me if I want to help them with and stuff, that like it doesn't really like hurt me to do it, you know what I mean? Like it's not like something that's like bad to do or anything. And so I just sit there and I go like, I mean, I don't want to like upset them or like hurt their feelings, and so I tend to do a lot of stuff that sometimes I'm like, I'm kind of tired and I don't want to do this, or I just would rather go home after school and stuff.
Okay, all right, and that, and that's appropriate to me. You have to understand when to say no, when to say yes. So tell me, the last time you wish you had said no, but you didn't. Tell me about that. The last time.
So it was after school, and like it was kind of one of those days where things were still really stressful with Lauren and everything. And my teacher asked me if I'd just like go help her make some copies of stuff and everything. And I really wanted to just kind of go home and like, cause I was just exhausted from all of that. And, but like she does like a lot for our class and stuff, and she's always planning lessons and grading papers and stuff. And so like, I was like, going and making like some copies for her wasn't like anything that would like hurt me to do. And so I just said that I'd do it for her instead of telling her like I wanted to go home instead.
So do you wish you would have told her that if you were able to?
I mean, sometimes like I wish, it was easier to just like tell people that I didn't want to do things, because then like I could have gone home earlier and just like hung out with Zeus a bit, or like done some things that like I liked and had time for.
Okay. Now, you tell me if you feel comfortable with this, because last time we did a what if scenario. And and I think you did pretty well. It was kind of difficult. Would you be open to us practicing a scenario where you would need to say no? Would you feel comfortable trying?
We could. It might be easy to like say no though when I know that like I'm not really saying no to someone.
Yeah, yeah. And we were just practicing. So give me a scenario, and then I'll create that scenario, and then we can work on saying no. So give me a scenario.
Like there was one time I was at a party with some friends and stuff, and some people asked me if I wanted to like kind of go hang out with all of them after the party, because they were all going to go and like get something to eat, but it was starting to get really late at night. And I just like it was kind of stressful being at the party anyway, because there's just so many people and stuff. And so I wanted to go home, and like I wanted to say that to them, but then I couldn't. And so that's when I kind of looked over at Kai, and he had been listening to the whole conversation, and he came up with like an excuse to help me get out of the party and going after.
All right. So you would want us to practice that scenario? Would that be all right? All right. So Samantha, you're at this party, and it's kind of late. All right. Hey, Samantha, listen. We're planning on going out afterwards to this place, get a couple of drinks. Why don't you come along? Are you able to do it?
No, I kind of want to just like go home here after the party. It's getting kind of late.
Okay, it'll be fun. We'll get you home, but it'll be fun. We'll have some of the guys and the girls that are here, and it will be no big deal.
I mean, I don't know what I would say to them after that. Like when they asked me again.
Matthew, you're doing so well. Just practice. Now, what I've told people, when you're dealing with difficult people, what I've encouraged people to do is just keep it simple and say, I hear what you're saying, but I really need to. I hear what you're saying, and it'll be a lot of fun, but I really need to. So just keep it really short, and typically people get that. So let's try it again.
Okay.
Come on, Samantha. It'd be no big deal. We'll get you home by 2. I mean, it's the weekend.
Like I have a dog at home, and he might need to like go out and stuff, so I probably should like go home now instead of going out.
Okay. Okay. All right. So maybe next time, huh?
Yeah, maybe next time.
All right. Now I know I just made that up, but what was that like?
I was like, even though it was kind of, just a fake scenario, like my heart was racing really fast because, I don't know, it was like just, it was kind of scary just to like say no,
Yeah.
especially when you ask the second time. Like, I didn't know really what to say, like, because, I'd already said no, and then they're like still trying to convince me, and then, I don't know, that's when I sort of like freeze up and don't know what to like say to them.
Just like anything, it just takes practice. You know, I think part of what we're talking about is for you is developing your outer skin, and it's really to protect you. And I think when people know your outer skin where you are, then they tend to respect that. And I think that's some of the things that you struggle with growing up. You know, one thing I've observed when you tell people no, the world doesn't really fall apart. They may act like it does, but it really doesn't. But I know it takes a little time, and because you have a really good heart. Good
Well,
job.
thank you. But like, like when people, especially when they like kind of ask a couple times and stuff, like part of what makes it hard to say no is like, they're like, because they're inviting me to like hang out with them even after the party, like the one party we're at's over and stuff. It like, feels like they're trying to be friends and stuff and like reach out for that. And then I don't want them to think that like I just don't want to be friends, but at the same time, like I just like being around lots and lots of people for so long, like can be really exhausting.
It can be. It can be. And sometimes it's working, maybe just kind of managing those large settings and so on. Um, so you just take it one day at a time. A part of that is kind of like your dog Zeus being set free and free to say yes and free to say no, and free to pick up that stinky fish. What a great dog! I gotta meet your dog someday if there's ever possible. Maybe you can bring him into one of these sessions. We can see what Zeus looks like.
Yeah, he would probably like that.
Yeah. So anything else? Anything else that went on over the last 2 weeks?
Um, well, so, I know last time we talked, just because, like, everything with Lauren ended up working out and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was really thinking about, like, trying to find my foster family
Okay.
again. And so, I ended up kind of talking to Kai about that a little bit because, like, I didn't know how I would find them and stuff. And so, he told me that probably the best way to do it would be to, like, hire, like, a private investigator or something.
Okay.
Because he said they might have, like, resources to find them.
All right.
So he's been helping me, like, try to find someone who could help do that.
Good. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think I really want to reach out to him, but I'm a little nervous too.
Sure. Good job on being courageous and doing that. So, any thoughts of when you do get in contact with them, what you would say or how you would approach it? Any thoughts about that?
No, I haven't really thought it that far yet.
Good job on just wanting to reach out and involving someone like Kai to help you with that. All right. Anything else?
I mean, kind of through the week now, like, at school and stuff, Lauren and I talk a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been hanging out a lot at school. And, I guess, like, for me, I just had, like, a lot of really bad memories of that whole time when we were younger and stuff. And, whenever, like, I saw her and stuff, that's what would all come back and everything. But when we've been talking the last couple weeks, she like constantly keeps telling me about like moments that we had when we were friends and stuff, about like kind of good things that were happening, and that like there are some good memories, and I think I probably just, forgot like most of those with everything else.
Wow.
When I did, and so that's been kind of fun. And then she's like really, it keeps throwing me off because it's really funny, but she keeps calling me Sam accidentally.
Huh.
And I keep telling her, I'm like,
Is Sam the character that you write in your book?
yeah, and that's what I keep telling her. I'm like, Sam's my character in my book, right? And she goes, no, she's like, when we were little and stuff, sometimes you'd like be called Sam. And I was like, I don't remember that either. So, yeah, so I don't know. I just, it's been nice, like, knowing that my whole time at that house and stuff wasn't all bad memories, and like some of the stuff that she like talks about and some of the fun that we had together is really nice.
So when she brings up Sam, your character in your book, is it with things that are good or things that are bad, or what's the context?
Well, so like, and I kind of know that this, but kind of growing up and stuff, I've had a really bad temper that comes out sometimes. And so she tells me that like when I was younger, I used to have a really bad temper with some people, and like I'd get really angry and like really mean sometimes. And I don't really remember doing that, but I guess I was kind of a lot younger at the time, and so I could see myself maybe like reacting kind of like that. Although she just remembers me really different from the way I remember myself.
Wow.
Because I guess she, like, back when we were living, in the same foster home and stuff, she, like, saw me as sort of a really strong person back then. And, she says that, like, I was someone who would, like, stand up for her and stuff sometimes and things. And, like, to me, like, even just hearing that, I'm like, that sounds really scary to do. And I just don't remember doing that. But, but it kind of, like, I mean, I feel like she wouldn't say that, like, for no reason, and if it wasn't true. And so I'm like, like, maybe somewhere I really, like, am strong enough to, like, say no to people and stand up for myself. And I don't know, maybe I just sort of lost that side or something.
I think you have good instincts. Because it's very interesting because you have that character in your book named Sam. Do you remember when you created her, that character? I think maybe you should. Do you remember when you created that character?
I kind of started writing about Sam probably about as soon as I could write stories and kind of write words and stuff. And like back then, because I wasn't really good at writing, I used to like draw pictures of, Sam and stuff, and kind of like make little picture stories of her. And I just used to like things I wanted to say or things I wanted to do in situations, because I wasn't like strong enough. I'd like, write stories where Sam did get to like do that and say that and stuff. And so I just always remember like, writing about that side as like with that character Sam, but not like ever doing anything like that. But Lauren keeps telling me that like there's a moment here or a moment there where, like, you know, I'd lose my temper with someone and then, like, stand up for her or something. And
Wow. We're so complex. What I'm really amazed is that you're allowing Lauren to speak to you and for her to become intimate with you. And she's bringing up some parts of you that sounds kind of strange, but we're just really creative people. I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
You're really doing a good job. So is there anything else that's on your mind?
I mean, I have kind of a busy week here this week at work and stuff. And so I'm kind of trying to just prepare myself for that because I think I'll probably be a little tired from all of that with school. But I'm also excited because we have some fun animals that are coming in for like just sort of their normal checkups and shots and stuff.
Okay.
But there's like this one dog coming in, and he, like, whenever his owner brings him in, he's really, really friendly, but he's just really big and he kind of looks like a carpet because he's just like has so much fur and stuff. And so I'm excited because I get to work the shift that has his appointment on, so I'll get to see him again. And then there's another one of our clients, and she has like this little pet bunny that she brings in sometimes. And whenever she does, I get to hold him and stuff.
It sounds wonderful. Sounds like you have a wonderful job. Brings a lot of joy. Well, we're at time, and so would you be willing to meet next week? Now, be honest. If you get overwhelmed, just send me a message, and we'd be glad, like you did the last time, and we'll be glad to have an appointment because I want to make sure that you are getting the rest that you need. So I don't want this to be overwhelming for you. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah.
So when do you think we would like to meet next?
Let's plan on next week, because even if it's like a little bit overwhelming, sometimes it helps when I come and like talk to you about it. And like, just because like, I don't know why when I talk about it and stuff, then it's like not as overwhelming anymore.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Samantha, you take care of yourself, and I'll see you next week, okay?
All right. Thank you, Dr. George.